Hi guys, this is Susie and George over here. George, come on. You gotta say hi. Son. So today I will be demoing how to trim. To be honest, I actually did trim most of this planter, but I can show you this basic part right here. I was having too much fun trimming away, and I did all the fun stuff without you. Sorry. But this is a little tip on how to trim. I like to start from one spot and work my way across. I already have this foot kind of planned out, trimmed away. I have most of this trimmed away, but here I lifted up the bowl and I felt the thickness, and I could definitely trim more away. So typically people trim with loop tools like this. They can start on the edge and work their way across. And I trim away that extra clay. You want to go slow enough that you're trimming evenly, especially for when the purpose is to trim it down. You can make your own like textured marks. I save that towards the end because that's more of a superficial look. Right now we're worrying about, trimming to the thickness that we want. See, this is a very fun process, but you don't want to rush these things. So I went ahead and I trimmed before. And it's kind of tricky recording and doing it at the same time. So a lot of props to people that have perfected this, because it's a lot of work. Just like learning how to throw, there's definitely that learning curve. It's like writing, like who are you, what is your audience, what are we trying to get? I try not to chase the little slivers too much. In the other videos of throwing this large form, I had to actually do it, this is my third time. This is what happened. The other two just didn't work out, they flopped. I was being a little impatient, so I think I threw too fast. Usually I like to take my time. And then you also get frustrated, and that doesn't help with the throwing process at all. So I had to take a step back, reclaim the clay, take a little break, and then just remember like why I wasn't successful the first two times. The first time I think I pulled and it was too wide of a cylinder, and it lost a bit of control, because when I wanted to bring it back, the walls were too thin, and that happened with the first one. The second time, yeah, the bowl shape, it got a little lost and it was too wet when it got too big. And then I tried to play with it and it lost its shape, and kind of scrapped that, reclaimed it, got it to that right consistency. The first ball of clay was too hard for me. Like the clay was too hard. It wasn't as wet. And the second one, it was okay. But with the third one, I had to reclaim and wedge up that really wet clay from, throwing twice with it. And I added a little bit of that leather hard trimmings. These dry up fast, so I added that into the wetness, reclaimed it, let it sit up for a little bit, and then just threw it again without the recording. And I was not feeling watched, I guess. And I was happy with the outcome. Because it had been a while since I had to throw a larger form, and I needed to practice, so that was good. It was good for me. But let's see if we trimmed, bump it up a bit, get going. I always start from the center and I work my way to the edge. Make sure that that line is even and level. Don't get annoyed by the goobers. They go away. And then I mentioned this is a planter. It's actually for, I'm thinking, this plant. The clay will shrink down, but it should be big enough to hold that. We need to get a drainage hole going, so we're going to use this needle point to guide. And I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger than that. Go in nice and slow. Pop it out. Ooh, it's a lot thicker than I realized. Clean it up, because you want the water to flow out. So just make sure that channel is gonna do it. Right. Oh yeah, it's pretty thick. So we can trim it down a bit more. Bump the speed up. Get going. There you go. Check the thickness of it all. Seems alright. I'll probably be making a base so the water, when it drains out, has something to collect on. Alright, hope you join me then. Thanks for checking in. Take care.